60-minute heat. We're on the clock. There is a can, they call, the lifeguards, to assist in terms of life-saving. Nobody in the water except these 6 right now.
They want it bad, and they're going to try and take it.
About 12:18 in Rio de Janeiro. Everybody watching the 2 Brazilians in the lineup, but we start off with Grant Baker. Where did he leave off? Going for a barrel. Couple of nice big turns there. There is a closeout section, but the judges saw a nice long run with some maneuverability right there. Set and release, going for speed. And Baker, he pops up really quick. Now can he paddle back out? Here we go. Little set coming through, and boy, I don't know if he's Irish, but he's got the luck today. He's going to sneak back into the lineup and get on the board immediately. No really limitations on the number of waves you want, but when you do catch a wave, you usually take a beating. What happened?
You know, not the biggest wave, but look at these pumps down the line. Big pumps in the barrel. Huge pump again down the line. Just
actually won Chile, 7th at Todos Santos, 19th at Jaws, kind of a bummer. End up 2nd on the tour. That's Makuakai Rothman. And here is Pedro Calado. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, finds a nice cover up. This guy is just nonstop charging. And again, we have mentioned that he is a infrequent visitor to this break. We think this is his 7th time surfing here, and he's acting like it's his home break.
It was a great effort right there. I mean, he really did find a great section to ride the foam ball on a big board like that. Super hard to do. Almost pulled it off.
Still waiting on scores. They're going to probably set the scale. Couple of waves ridden.
Here's a replay right here. You can see Will's right next to him wanting it, but Pedro gliding in, got in there before him, actually on a smaller board too, but could not. He was pedal to the metal right there, riding foam balls, and almost pulled it off.
And here's Grant Baker in the throat of things. Baker opened up with a 5.17, so scores are now starting to post the WSL.
Here's a replay of Grant Baker holding off Carlos Burle on that wave and driving through a tube where it didn't look very makeable, but I think he was just trying to, again, hold somebody else off, so he's competing.
Wasting no time. He has 2 waves, still waiting on his 2nd score. Greg Long, on the other hand, he is patient. He figures 1 good wave might do it. In fact, you can get 20 points on 1 wave because the highest scoring wave you have, and it might be 1 wave, will be doubled. So if you get a perfect 10, it'll be 20 points out of a possible 30. Will that win the event? I'll have to wait and see. We've seen a lot of average scores in that 20, 21, 22 range. We've seen some pretty big scores as well. Jamie Mitchell get a perfect 10. And here comes that set, and it's looking pretty lined up. Anybody that has a corner way down to the south end, we can see Greg Long. That's where he picked up one final ugly bomb wave to get into the finals. This next one might have a corner to it. Directly out in front, nobody's looking at the left, and nobody wants the right down there. Strider, it has gone from offshore to steaming hot, tropical glassy conditions.
Yeah, the tradition of conditions here continues.
Here we go, Grant Baker, deepest in the lineup, and Grant's got to charge hard. This is his 3rd wave, believe it or not, in the finals, and Grant with a maneuver, trying to make it out this next section, doesn't care, kind of committed to the suicide zone and trying to get it length of ride. The height is very critical here. Now comes Carlos Burle. His first wave puts a lot of foam on the 2nd wave, and he takes the lip on his back and goes down. Carlos charging hard. Replay here of Grant Baker.
Beautiful wave, comes off the bottom. Look at that frothy foam pit. You know, coming off the bottom on a wave like that, looking at that down the line section, you know you're gonna have to pull in just kind of like this to an unmakeable wave, but just trying to negotiate. Look at that thing, just took out Burle. The lip came down and slapped him off his board. There's a lot of water moving out there. Even though the waves are a little smaller today, it's so powerful, taking the wind out of you. He pops right back up. Both of them get back out there.
I totally agree. Beautiful stuff. Now, as we take a look, thank you, Kaipo, as we take a look at our surfer, Makuakai Rothman, and tucks in. and a section in front closes out, then it gets really tight. So Rothman going to get on the board, and let's see how he's going to fare in terms of getting out the back as soon as possible. Next wave looks like it's going unridden, and we're going to keep an eye on Rothman and his progress. They don't paddle out themselves. The Puerto Escondido Challenge, the first stop on the 2016-2017 Big Wave Tour. And the history of this event, well, we're starting history today. This is our first final. And asking Pete Mel about these beach breaks, he considers Nazare a beach break, and so these offshore canyons and the bathymetry at Nazare and at Puerto Escondido pretty special.
Replay right here.
Calado with a
replay, trying to get up into the bowl right there. Can't quite find the cover up, so he jumps off on the inside. But a good effort. And then we got Makuakai Rothman, a beautiful wall in front of him, grabs the rail, pulls it up into the bowl, trying to find some cover, and that thing just slammed him down. A lot of whitewater came down on his head, and looks like he broke his leash in the inside right there. So he's going to try and get back.
I think that's his second leash.
Onto the board. I mean, the leash even could get ripped off your ankle out here. That's how powerful the waves are.
A live action, Will Skudin gets a little safety one in and out. He does, and he's got an easy paddle back out. So good. Will Skudin getting on the board. And at this point, needing an 8.02. Baker started off hot and heavy, looking to replace that 517. Now everybody in chase.
There's a replay of Will Skudin trying to find something out there on the open face as well. Nice little bottom turn. These guys resorting to smaller waves to get on the board, trying to find something. I don't think we'll see that happen with guys like Greg Long. I think he's going to be waiting for, bigger sets.
We got a paddler, and it could be Greg Long. And Long, nice high turn, very smooth, looking down the line intensely, says, I don't want any part of it. This is not going to help me win this final, and he pulls out. So it doesn't need to go for the throat and for the closeout run. So he's easily back into the lineup, but he gets on the board, Greg Long.
Looked like a good-looking wave coming into it, but then down the line you can see him. He sees the whitewater section coming, so he decides to skip out over the top, actually catching some air as he exited. And Will Skudin finds himself a little tube time. All right, Will, New York boy, feeling it. Got himself a little cover up. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Makua back out in the lineup, though, because he is such a fierce guy. He wants to get back into it.
Grant Baker, as we come back live action, and Grant grabs rail and goes for a nice cover up. There's an opening, and he is deep, and the thing races as it hits the really shallow part of the sandbar. But Grant Baker non-stop, wave number 4. Who's next? It looks like Carlos Burle. 3, 4, 5 paddles, an easy roll in, high line grab. Now let's see if it's going to stand up for him. The size of the wave is it. Now it's time to get in the barrel. There's the barrel. Carlos Burle just about made it out, and all of a sudden it folds at the end, and he gets his hair wet.
That was a good effort for sure. The drop was crazy. Out the back though, Dave. Look at this.
God, the sets are coming through, and it is Greg Long. So with a little bit of bend, it's tough to make it out, but as the action is getting hot and heavy, there's still another one afterwards. I'm not sure if we do have a surfer in the lineup. Let's look back at Grant Baker.
Beautiful ride right here. Off the bottom, pulls up into the barrel, drives down. So he's grabbed the rail, he's pulled up high. He tried not to just touch the face, but had his hand out there as a guidance. It was deep, and the foam ball got him right here. Carlos Burle falls out of the sky. Tail drops a little bit, waits for it, then goes into his tube stance, grabs the rail, but on the way out, the lip kind of catches his head, and he goes down. And behind him, Greg Long on a bomb. They call him the long bombs because he waits a long time for him. Does the same thing where he grabs the rail, pulls up on the backhand, and tries to drive through it, but doesn't come out in the end.
Tag Heuer time, 35 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. Don't break under pressure. You got to charge hard. The Mexican pipeline is delivering some waves. Every wave's a bit different. You better be prepared to pay some dues here. The lifeguards and our safety team have been non-stop working in action. Well, take a look. It's still Grant Baker after 4 waves. His last one is 7.50. Very, very nice. So he is trying to run away with it. His 2-wave total 20.43. And it seems like this left is the go-to wave, but now and then you might get the massive right down the beach. Difficult for the judges to see. This left is just right into the judges' tower, which is basically on the 5th floor of a building.
Yeah, perfect these barrels are, just absolutely grinding across the sandbar.
This beach rake at Puerto Escondido is amazing. Take a look at Pedro Calado.
Yeah, beautiful replay right here, driving through the tube, really deep, and then that inside sandbar just shutting it down for him. He was low, controlled, on the rail, speed line, pedal to the metal, and unfortunately not making it because that would have been a huge score. Such a beautiful, wave. And the beach, look at the beach, it's lighting up down there.
Still looking at some very solid surf. Baker again, Baker's 5th wave, drops in, pulls in, Baker just focused, there's an opening. And Grant Baker is looking to secure not only a win, but yet another world title. This surfer out of Durban, South Africa, now a family man, at 43 years of age, is such a hard charger. It's unbelievable.
Man, he wanted it. Look at this guy pulling up, dropping in, dragging, slowing himself down, perfect bottom turn to position, holding a rail, spitting barrel, just comes out flying. To technically drop into that wave where he was angling back at it to get deeper. Then to come off the bottom, just underneath the lip, turn down just before you get too high, so you wipe off a little bit of speed, hold the wall with your hands, slow yourself down just enough, inside rail engaged.
Now Greg Long, ironically, has jumped up into the lead before we got the last score for Baker. Long's last wave, a 6.53. He's got a 7.37. He jumps into the lead, still waiting on one more score for Grant Baker. Our surfer completing that last wave. Beautiful surfing, nice barrel, pulls out of it. Finds himself in 2nd. And there it is, perfect 10 across the board. 5 10-point rides. You total that 10 twice, you times it twice, he's got 20 points. Add the other score, his other high score, which is the 7.5, and he has 27.50.
Well, here's Will down the beach, just kind of jumping off, realizing there's nothing to this wave, trying to find anything after hearing that score. You're going to be wanting to ride waves. You're going to be, they're out there. I mean, you hear that Grant Baker gets a 10-point ride, you go, oh, okay, it's possible. It's possible for me. Here it is right here. Look, he drops in, kind of going back towards it, redirects just under the lip, slows himself down, puts his hand on the wall, wipes off some speed, and then boom, reappears. I mean, absolutely perfect execution.
And I believe it is Greg Long that needs a 10.07 to take the lead. Calado, God, just a fearless competitor. Rio de Janeiro surfer, unbelievable. The other surfer out of Brazil, Carlos Burle, finds himself in 4th. Everybody needing a combination or needing some big scores to overtake Baker with Jamie Mitchell.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big wave right there from Calado. This kid always finds a bomb. I'm pretty impressed with the fact that he really finds himself in position for a lot of bigger waves. He's executing the smaller waves quite well. What he's doing on the inside of the barrel. He's riding through, he's weaving, so he's definitely got game. I've never seen him small wave surf, but he's probably really good in the smaller waves as well. All those guys from Brazil, they grow up in those beach breaks and all that fun surf, and that's why you start surfing. It's just because it feels so good. You're having such a great time.
Right now with an update on our 2015 champion, let's check in with Kaipo Guerrero.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. So Makuakai came into the beach in quite a bit of pain, took a direct hit to his chest from his board, injured his foot as well, but the foot's minor compared to the chest. In a bit of pain right here. Oh my God, he's right here. He's going to be on his way to get some X-rays. Makua, talk to us a little bit about what happened out there and how you're feeling your current condition.
Just want to apologize first of all for not being able to put on a show. For all you folks at home, did my best and just trying to represent Hawaii. But I just went up and over and my 10-foot board hit me in the ribs. Thank you to WSL. This was a very great call. Thank you to all the fans out there who make this possible for us and make it possible for us to live our dreams. And enough of me being hurt on the beach. Watch these guys out here in the waves. Aloha.
And we'll see what happens here. Big left coming through, and our surfer, is this Grant Baker? No, this is Calado. He's everywhere, and he's got a very, very fast board. Drops down, stalling, waiting for the wave, and it's really not going to pan out to much, but a lot of foam. Now comes the critical part. When you pull out and you look over your shoulder and you go, oh my gosh, now I've got to paddle through this. Let's see if Pedro can make it through. Beyond Pedro, it is Will Skudin, and Will backs off. Pedro's going to get caught. He ejects off his board, and it's a big wave tour, so you want the biggest wave. Secondary, well, obviously you want to perform and you want to get the cover up, so you make the choice. Calado's got a 6.53 and an 8.40. He's not letting this one go. Tag Heuer says 7:17 remaining. We do have a pretty solid set wave coming through. I'm not sure if it's just one, but everybody seems to see it, and they are all paddling. Not this one, but the next one. Who's in position? Calado now is deep in the lineup. And where is Baker?
Baker is right next to him.
Yep, but Calado's moved to the inside. This is way too deep for those guys.
This is going to be interesting.
This is going to be a suicide run. Carlos Burle, is he going to go for it? No, Calado. Burle just does not get it. Calado goes straight off. And again, he's looking for a 9.56. What's that all about?
Well, it was a big wave, but it just kind of fluffed and didn't do what we wanted. See the other competitors getting caught inside right there. And Greg Long is going to get this wave.
This wave is a bomb of a wave. And take a look what's going to happen here. He's going to disappear. And he's gone. But talk about the size of the wave and commitment right there. Long looking to move up a spot. We talked about gaining points. If you can't win this, try to get second, maybe third. But right now he's in third and looking to overtake Calado. And now, let's see if he's inflated. Yes. And here comes the safety team in to check on him. He can either paddle back out or jump on the ski. There's 2:30 remaining.
He's gonna call it a day. Look at this. This is amazing. I mean, Grant Twiggy Baker, anybody who's in the water that could possibly come close to taking anything from him, he's all over them.
He's hounding Will Skudin. Whoa! And he jumps off the cliff. Carlos Burle, I believe.
Yeah, that was Burle, and you know, he pushed him to a point. It's great. I love it. I think this is where it comes down to who wants it the most, and you know, you're seeing a reason he's competing, and Grant Twiggy Baker is pushing these guys into positions here. And what a beautiful wave it was. Comes off the bottom, dodges that first section with the lip line, drives through the barrel. Beautiful, long, deep tube. So you can see it from the water angle right here. So he drops in this first section, isn't tossing, so he goes around that, and then underneath the hood right there. Look at how beautiful that shot is.
7.97.
His last wave was an 8.8.
And
that doubled.
8.83 for...
And this replay right here.
Oh.
That was our man, Carlos Burle, letting it go off the top. You see that wind starting to affect it a little, that little slight south wind coming in, but look at that man right there. The rabid dog, Twiggy Baker. I mean, the fangs were out, the eyes are rolling back. Greg Long gave it a good shot at the end there, trying to get back into it. But it's not going to happen because the scores have dropped. Greg came up short, just barely. Look at those score totals, 27.5. And
well, pretty amazing. Baker does hold on and started off hot and heavy at the very beginning. Baker ends up with 5 waves. He had to be selective at the end because he ended up with a 7-5 and then a perfect 10, and unless something that was going to come in better. So he might have been playing a little defense out there, moving in the lineup. But there he is. There's your champion, 43 years of age, out of Durban, South Africa. Spends a lot of time in Hawaii, San Francisco, Umhlanga Rocks.
He looks pretty mellow for just winning the first event on the Big Wave Tour.
Maybe he doesn't know.
I don't know, man, but I'll tell you what.
Yeah, he knows.
I'd be psyching. That is so sick. That man right there, Grant Twiggy Baker, eyes rolled back. He was psyching. Got the win, Kaipo.
Incredible. I think Twiggy was hungry through this whole contest. You could see, like you said, he had the eyes rolled back, fangs out, savage, and could tell he wanted it, and he's going to get rewarded, Strider.
Yeah, it's so amazing. So Strider Wasilewski here with Kaipo Guerrero. We're going to give you a final recap of everything that went down today, and as you can see, all smiles right there on the beach. Jamie Mitchell giving him some hugs, some congratulations.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
Ah, there it is.
And there's the ice water dump right there for the champ. Grant Twiggy Baker, 43 years old, veteran.